If you are like me and never heard of River City Girls until recently, then you are probably not alone, because this was a Japanese exclusive title which was made in 1994 for the Super Nintendo. Fast forward 2 decades, in 2019 you have a new version of River City Girls which was a success, and in 2022 for the first time we got the re-release of the original River City Girls, the 1994 version. And since the River City Girl is part of the Kunio-kun series, the series is well known for being one of the early pioneers of beat 'em up genre, so it'd be interesting to see if the game still holds up to the hype it held when it was first released. When it comes to gameplay, there's no auto lock, so when you engage in combat, your hitbox is about half a character apart, or the extension of the punch fist. At times it feels like the battle goes on way too long, even though 90% of the time there's only ever 2 enemies on the screen. Each enemy takes about 10 to 15 hits for a knockdown. What's cool about this game, it has a little bit of a tutorial at the beginning of the game, which ties in with the story. You take the role as Kunio and Riki, and you can switch between the characters in combat. You start out in a jail cell for a crime you did not commit. Here you get to test out the basic moves: punch, kick, jump and block, which is quite a lot of moves and buttons for a beat 'em up in the 90s. Later on, our 2 protagonists escapes the jail cell with fresh new clothing, which then finish the tutorial and unlock all the special moves. And the special moves can be performed by a block and any of the other buttons, which becomes crucial in later games as the difficulty does really ramp up. There's different stages throughout the game, from a theme park, schoolyard, nightclub, and a motorbike racing track. There's enough variation in background to make the theme of the game feel relative to the story part. The game has a simple combat rule: whatever you can do to your foe, they can do the exact same thing to you. The difficulty ramps up as you progress about 2/3 into the game. The enemy does more counters and more hits and more damage, and seems to move a bit faster than you. As you progress throughout the game, you unlock all 4 playable characters. The 2 female characters move slightly faster than our 2 male protagonists. The control is okay, it does feel sluggish at times. It could be because of the slow pace of the game. There's enough surprise and suspense in the plot to keep you engaged in the story, because there's gonna be a lot of reading and unskippable cutscenes throughout your playthrough. There's a fresh new anime opening sequence to the game while keeping the legacy of the game mechanic. Playing this game is like walking down memory lanes of the 90s era. It's not a long game. I was able to finish the game in about 4 hours, and since it supports 4 players, it's worth a visit if you're up for the challenge.